We've been blaming the donkey for generations unfairly. And somewhere between soap and water, a thread floats in the air. Take bath early, or you'll become a donkey in your next birth, often said jokingly, but always heard seriously, and then remembered forever. So let's begin the story with a bath and a belief and a very serious donkey problem. With the sunlit morning comes an unspoken rule. Wake up early, take a shower, and wear clean clothes. No discussion, no debate, no official notice, just tradition. But tell me, is it really an emergency? Even if it's a holiday, even if there's nowhere to go, even if the biggest plan for the day is to sit idle and judge other people's faces. Still, the alarm rings, the bucket fills, and someone shouts from another room as if the world will collapse if you remain unbathed. Apparently, cleanliness must be achieved before doing absolutely nothing. And this unnecessary urgency of washing early, dressing neatly, and then sitting uneasily throughout the day is where our story begins. Because for one boy, refusing this morning ritual didn't just invite scolding, it invited a prophecy. Behave properly, they said, or you'll be born a donkey in your next life. And that, my friend, is how a simple morning became the start of a very long lesson. The sun was already smiling, shining brightly in the sky, with two bright and sparkling teeth in front, as if telling the boy to get up and at least brush his teeth and show the world the glitter inside his mouth. But the boy, he laid curled under his blanket, negotiating with his sleep. 5 more minutes, he muttered for the 5th time in half an hour. Outside, the car's bus honked, and inside the house, the screams, the yells grew stronger and violent enough, much sharper than the voices of the buzzing mosquitoes. Get up, go bathe. Do you want to be born a donkey in next life? That last line worked like an alarm, not because he feared it, but because he was tired of hearing it. He dragged himself out, hair standing like it had survived a storm, eyes half open, mood fully closed. And in a fraction of seconds, he was propelled out of the bed to the hand pump, where he stared at the water suspiciously, as if it were personally responsible for all his problems. Who bathes every day anyway? He grumbled. Even donkeys don't. His irritation had escalated to extreme rudeness, such that the entire lane seems to have opinions about him. He snapped at the shopkeeper, rolled his eyes at the elders, answered children with dramatic sighs. Soon, people stopped correcting him. They upgraded. Hurry, donkey is coming. Move aside. Donkey needs space. Once fed up, he shouted back, Yes, yes, I am a donkey. At least I'm not praying like you all. And then laughter could be heard from every corner of the lane, loud and unstoppable. From that day on, nobody remembered his real name. He held himself strong, though very late for a morning bath, yet he marched in with a heroic confidence, as if freshness was a state of mind. As he walked towards the village water pump, the sacred place where people came for just water, but for gossip, judgment, and free entertainment. Suddenly he became the talk of the town. Someone pinched their nose dramatically. Another whispered loudly, "Morning already smells like evening." As he rolled his eyes and stepped forward, he stepped right onto a patch of spilled water. And there went his legs, struggling to balance, and finally a loud boom. But more than the sound of his falling, the laughter was heard. Loud, sharp, uncontrolled. The boy landed straight into a puddle, hair soaked, clothes muddy, dignity evaporated. Then laughter exploded once again when he tried to get up quietly and slipped back into the puddle again. Old men bent forward, holding their stomach. Women clapped like it was a festival performance. Children brayed. Yes, actually brayed. "Hee-haw!" Someone shouted. "Careful, donkeys don't walk on two legs properly." His mother arrived at the worst possible moment. She took one look at him, muddy, wet, furious, and announced to the entire audience, "See, even bathing could wait for him. Next birth, he'll bathe naturally in a pond." The crowd burst into laughter. Not polite laughter, not gentle chuckles, the kind that bends people in half. One man slapped his knee, another wiped tears from his eyes, someone nearly dropped their water pot. Our hero lay there, half in mud, half in puddle, fully humiliated. Water dripped from his hair, from his sleeves, from places water had absolutely no business being. He blinked. Once, twice, then he rose slowly, very slowly, like a tragic statue being assembled by invisible hands. His shirt clung to him like it had chosen a new permanent home. His hair pointed in 5 different directions, all angry. His face looked as if someone had just cancelled his entire existence. Drip, drip, drip. His fist clenched, but he stood up, dripping and shaking, rage boiling. "Enough!" he yelled. "Stop calling me donkey." Someone replied casually. "Then stop behaving like one." His jaw tightened. Without saying a word, he picked up his bucket, walked back to the hand pump, pumped water, hard, aggressively, as if the hand pump personally owed him money. Water splashed everywhere. He dumped water over his head. Once, twice, thrice, scrubbed his face, scrubbed his arms, scrubbed like he was trying to erase his entire existence. The crowd watched, fascinated. Clean boy, dirty ground, wet slippers, very wet slippers. Every splash turned the dust into fresh mud, sticky mud, loyal mud. mud that believes in long-term relationships. By the time he finished, his feet looked cleaner. But his slippers, they looked like two depressed clay bricks. He shoved his feet into them anyway. Squelch, squelch, a sound no footwear should ever make. Someone giggled. Someone else whispered, "He's farming mud now." He grabbed his bucket, turned and stormed off. 2 steps later, scritch, scritch. His slippers stretched, did not fully lift. He almost face planted, recovered, pretended nothing happened, and kept walking. Squelch, squelch. Behind him, some screamed, "Careful, donkey! Slippers need a bath too. Take the road slowly. Pond boy." A dog started following him. Then another. One barked, "Woof!" Another barked, "Woof! Woof!" They circled him, sniffed his legs, possibly confused him for a moving muddy snack. He walked faster. Squelch, squelch, squelch. The dogs followed. The laughter followed. A chicken crossed his path. He tripped slightly, trying not to step on it. Said the chicken did not dignity. He did not look back. He did not engage. He just walked. Wet, sticky, furious. The path to his house felt longer than his entire life. By the time he reached home, his slippers were no longer slippers. They were mud museums. Thick layers, wet layers, sticky layers. Every step required effort. Lift, pull, squitch. Lift, pull, squitch. He reached the door, tried to step inside. One slipper stayed outside, attached to the ground. He stepped forward. His foot came out. The slipper didn't. He froze, slowly looked back, stared at the slipper. Long, hard, silently, bent down, pulled, but nothing. He pulled harder. The slipper came free, along with a sound that can only be described as ploop. Mud spattered on his leg. He closed his eyes, breathed in and breathed out. Inside the house, his mother called, "Why are you standing like a broken statue?" But he didn't reply. He was calming down his breathing and agitation. Finally, he stepped inside with both slippers in hand and mud dripping from them. Tired and much humiliated, he walked to his bed. Sat there, stared at the floor. A mosquito landed on his arm. He didn't move. Another landed on his cheek. He didn't move. Outside, the sky darkened. Crickets began rehearsing their concert. Lanterns glowed in village homes. Somewhere, someone was still laughing about him. He lay down, face into pillow, wet hair, sticky hands, mud between toes. Today had defeated him, completely defeated him. Tomorrow could do whatever it wanted. That night, for the first time in years, he slept early. Not because he had learned a lesson, but because even anger gets tired of carrying itself. As darkness settled, the village slept peacefully, still smiling in the memory of the day's entertainment. And somewhere between that laughter and the quiet night, the boy closed his eyes for the last time, unaware that when he opened them again, the joke would no longer be theirs. And at night, for the first time in his life, he woke up early because the sun felt closer and the ground felt much lower.